are some of the ways that people might express gender variance? One of the most common ways is through clothes. It used to be that women weren't really allowed to wear pants, for instance, and it's gotten to the point where that's not so unusual. On the other hand, there are certain clothing items that are gendered male or female to this day, and so people who express gender variance may have an interest in wearing clothes that are gendered like that. Or maybe it's just an item or two. It could just be earrings, or it could just be a certain kind of handbag. In the case of people who are female to male, it may just be clothing that is not considered feminine. There's a whole spectrum of expression that could happen through clothes alone. Another common way is through hair. Women in American society, at least, generally have longer hair, and so someone who's female to male may want to keep their hair cut very short or in a very masculine style. People who are male to female may wish to have their hair longer or wear it curled or in a style that's considered feminine, or colored in a way that's considered feminine. Another way that gender can be expressed is through activities. For instance, especially with children, toys can be an indicator of gender nonconformity. Some children, for instance, boys who like to play with dolls, or girls who like to play with trucks, can be examples of that. That doesn't mean that every child who wants to do that is gender variant or is going to want to transition, but that can sometimes be a sign that a child is working through issues along those lines. Another area that comes up sometimes is hobbies or other activities. Certain hobbies or sports, for instance, can be considered masculine or feminine, and sometimes gender variant people will choose an activity that is typically ascribed to their target gender. And finally, occupations can be a very common way that people express gender variance. Someone may go into a field that's considered masculine if they're wishing to sort of express themselves in a more masculine way than they were assigned at birth, or vice versa. Somebody who's wishing to express a more feminine sort of persona may go into a field where it's typically considered by our society to be a female profession, whatever that might mean. It just depends on the person. There's so many ways to express gender, and there's as many ways as there are people.